back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys, so I'm here today to do a book review of a book I gave 5 stars. So I love this book, and it is The Year of Living Danishly. It was the first book that I read in non-fiction November. This book is something better than I expected it to be, because I heard about this book from Mercedes and Lauren, whose channels are Mercy's Bookish Musings and Lauren and the Book, so I'll link both of them down below. They mentioned this to me a while ago. I think Mercedes said she was listening to it about a month or so ago, and she really enjoyed it, and Lauren had recommended it to her, so it was kind of a chain of recommendations, and I'd heard about it and it just seemed like it would be okay, because basically this follows a young woman and her husband. They moved out to Denmark and they lived there for a year. And they moved there because he got a job as a Lego employee, and the headquarters of Lego is in Denmark, in quite a remote rural part of Denmark. So they moved out there, away from the busy bustling London life, and they stayed there for a year. And she went freelance whilst she was out there, became a reporter and a journalist, and she sort of reported on Denmark and how it was to live there, because she'd never done anything like it. Kind of sounded interesting to me, but it didn't sound like it would be a sort of book that would blow me away. I was wrong. I was definitely wrong. I really loved this book. It was just so captivating. I think the way that Helen Russell writes is something that really captivated me straight away. She's very funny. She comes from England and London, and so I think the British humour is definitely there, and I think she's quite witty as well, and I think some of the things that she writes about I could definitely relate to, and some of the things she wrote about I was just laughing at. And she is quite a character. Like, I think a lot of people wouldn't be brave enough to trust their husband and move out to Denmark for a year when they know none of the language, they've never even been there before, but she did, and they did, and this is like the true real life account of what it was like for them to move to this incredible place that they'd never been to and kind of experience living there. What I liked about this was it was divided up into the 12 months that they were there, and so each month she kind of focused on one element of Denmark living, or Danish living. So one month it would be about sex, one month it would be about food, one month it would be about the sort of environment and sustaining yourself. It might be about meeting people, and it might be about hygge, which is kind of this Nordic tradition over there. I loved that she included lists. I like lists. And at the end of each month, she sort of talked about what she had learned in that month, and there was always something interesting. I think giving yourself such a culture shock, going from somewhere like England, London, where it's very busy, there's lots of people rushing to do things all the time, and it's a 9 to 5 life that actually turns into like a 7 till 10 life, because everyone gets there early and stays late, and it's very busy and hectic, and people are not making enough money, but they're expected to stay long hours and get things done, and that's kind of the lifestyle in London. It's busy, it's rush. Whereas in Denmark, particularly in the town that they go to, it's basically deserted, because it is so cold in Denmark that people don't want to go outside when it's freezing and it's winter. And even in the summertime, the traditions that go on there and the people that they meet, they don't really know them that well, because they're not from Denmark. They don't know the traditions, they don't know the people, so they've got to mingle and make friends with people over there. What I really liked about this is it's such a different culture in Denmark, and I never imagined it would be so different, but it is. Some of the things over there sound fantastic, some of them sound very bizarre. Like, I don't think I personally would be able to live in a place that was so remote, but I do think there are some elements of that lifestyle and of the Nordic lifestyle in general that really appeal, and some of the benefits that you would get from moving to a place like this are fantastic to hear about. So it was really interesting. I mean, for example, people get paid to go to university and stuff in Denmark, which is pretty cool, because we all know student loans are like terrible, but there are really interesting elements of the life over there, and learning about it from her point of view as a fellow Brit who went out there was really cool. And I think the way that she wrote was very approachable, very easy to get into. I actually ended up reading this over a course of like 2 or 3 days, I think, because I was just really into it and really loving it. And as I say, I did give it 5 out of 5 stars because, yeah, I just really enjoyed it. I think the way that she talks about the other people in the book also made me smile, because she gives them all these sort of pet names. So for example, her husband is never named, he's always just called Lego Man, because he is going out there to work for Lego. And we have like the people who she meets as neighbours are just given names of like Mr. Beard and Mr. Beard 2 or something like that. And I think it's just really fun that she does that, and she doesn't necessarily reveal their identities, but she talks a lot about them, and it's very, very interesting. Really, really interesting. Way more so than I thought. So if you have any recommendations of books kind of similar to this, where someone goes into a complete culture shock and goes somewhere very different and reports on it, I'd love to know. I don't know if there are any others. I believe that Helen Russell has another book coming out fairly soon, so I definitely want to get that. But yeah, it was so interesting, and the thing about Denmark is it's marketed as being the happiest place in the world. A lot of people in Denmark's surveys have said that it is a really, really happy place, and she's kind of on this adventure to find out why it is so happy. What are they doing that makes them happy, whereas people in England and places that are brighter year round but busier are not doing? And I think it's a really interesting comparison of the two countries, and her views on each by the end of the year are quite different from what she expected. So I really, really liked it. Would 100% recommend you guys check it out, because it's much better than I thought it was going to be, so it might be the same case for you. Do let me know if you do check it out, what you think of it, and if you have any recommendations similar, please do leave them below, because I'd love to read some more stuff in the same vein. I don't know where to start finding out that sort of thing, so if you've read anything like it, let me know down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.